Is anybody else curious as to why it's just so hard to make girlfriends? Why is it so hard for women to just be supportive of each other? You know, it's like, I don't know, like I just find that no matter how nice I am, or how friendly, or how nurturing, or how sweet I am, it just seems like the more people don't respect it. You know, I can't even say it's only women, but it's men too. And I just find it difficult to understand why decency or kindness is so hard to find in the world. You know, I'm a woman that likes to fix up all the time. I love to walk out the house with my makeup. Of course, I don't walk out with my makeup every day, but most days I do. And the level of unkindness that I receive simply by just being me is crazy. You know, women see you as a threat, and men, well, I should say boys, because real men don't act like this, but they don't even want to look your way, because in their mind, you're out of their league. You're out of their league. So they project their own insecurities onto you. I've experienced this just going out. I've experienced this in the workplace. I've used to experience this in school. And it's funny because in high school, I didn't realize that that's what it was. I didn't realize my own power. I didn't realize that women just didn't like me because I had something that they didn't. I was always unique. I was always myself. I never was afraid to shine. And unfortunately, that's a threat for people. But what really shocks me is the older I get, the harder it's getting. And you realize that a lot of people just aren't changing. They're not willing to change. I'm happy, though, I've been able to get out of the place where I would think that it was me. Because for some reason, I used to always blame myself. I used to always think, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I'm doing that wrong. Not realizing that, no, I haven't done anything. People are just people. But does anybody ever experience that, like, I don't know, I guess like when girls walk past you and you smile at them, and instead of them smiling back, they'll just look at you like, they'll give you the up and down look instead of just smiling back. Has anybody ever experienced that? Or with men, they'll just, again, like I said before, they won't even acknowledge you. I find that I always have to make the first move. I always have to be the first one to say hello. I always have to be the first one to make conversation. I always have to be the first one to basically set the tone, because nobody else is going to do it. And that's just simply because of the way that I look. You know? That's just simply because I decide to leave the house looking my absolute best, with my faux furs, my jewelry, and my bright, shiny makeup. You know, what can you do? But, you know, I would lie. I would be lying if I said that it doesn't bother me, because it does. I do have days where I fall short, and I can't help but think about it. I can't help but wonder why, you know, it just feels so isolating sometimes. You know, I actually had a situation. I had a experience. I think I'm gonna say it was 2 Christmases ago. Yeah, it was 2 Christmases ago, where I had I was dating this guy, and he decided to take me to meet his family. He decided to take me to meet his family. I already was hesitant about going. I don't know, something about me, something in my spirit wasn't comfortable. It wasn't sitting well, even at the discussion of going to meet his family. And when I mean family, I mean his parents weren't there. I had already met his parents. But as in family, I mean his cousins, his first cousins. And like I said, something about that didn't sit well with me. I don't know. I couldn't get comfortable with thought just by seeing pictures. And I know this sounds bad, but just by seeing pictures of them, or even hearing about conversations he's had with them, I wasn't comfortable. I'm very intuitive, and I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be the best experience. But I was thinking positive. I was doing my best to think positive, and on my way there, my body just couldn't relax. I was petrified. So I show up and I'm in my white fur leather jacket, well, coat, fur. I looked luxurious. I had my hair tied up just like it is now. I had on my jewelry, my bright makeup, my lashes, my high heels, all smiles. And the energy of the cousin whose house it was, he opened the door. He had a great big smile, but the energy said something different. His energy was very cold and very standoffish to me. So we're in the house. We're walking inside. My boyfriend at the time was introducing me to each cousin one by one. They said hi, but again, the energy just wasn't warm and it wasn't welcoming. I felt that. So as we're still in the house, we're getting ready to have our seats and whatnot. Me and my boyfriend at the time, we're sitting in the kitchen by ourselves, and instantly I notice that there is I don't know, there's a shift. I notice his cousins aren't being as engaging with him as they are everybody else. It was clear to me that he really, truly wasn't really the cousin that they were looking forward to seeing for some reason. So as we're sitting down, one of his cousin's wives walks into the kitchen. Granted, it's just me and him in the kitchen. Walks into the kitchen, pretends like we're not there. She didn't introduce herself to me. She didn't say hi to him. She wasn't going to say hi to him. He had to say hi to her first. And I just thought, I'm like, how rude. How rude. I am someone that's new. You don't even know me. Granted, you clearly don't care to know me, but I would never walk into a room where I see 2 people sitting there and it's only them there and pretend like they would never exist. I just don't have that kind of rudeness in me. So that kind of took me back a bit. Then I realized, as we're playing games and whatnot, nobody's really giving me eye contact. Or when I was trying to make eye contact with them, they were avoiding me at all costs. Backs were turned towards me. It was clear that I was, being ignored. Very, very clear. Very, very obvious. It wasn't a comfortable setting. I probably should have got up and left, but I didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable. So I stayed. I forgot to mention, I didn't really grow up in a house that celebrates Christmas. So this was all new. This was basically my first Christmas with the Christmas tree and the holiday games and all that. And it wasn't the best experience. Even when I would go into the living room to sit down, try and, engage with one of the cousins, they would get up and pretend like I wasn't there, or just leave me there, or again, backs were turned towards me. I just really didn't understand the energy. I really didn't understand it. It was very, very weird. But I just say this to say, for the girls or for the guys, but I'm mostly speaking to girls because that's what I am and that's who I can relate to. But for the girls that, like to do a little bit extra, that like to be themselves, when I mean yourselves, I mean unique, like to be unique, don't feed too much into people who are intimidated by you, who are secretly intimidated by you. Something about your light, something about you shining threatens people. We'll never know the answer as to why. I don't know. Maybe there's something about you that triggers them. Maybe there's something about you that they secretly want to be. But of course, that's a tough pill to swallow to ask you for any beauty advice. That's a tough pill to swallow for some people to give you a compliment. And again, I've just never been that type of girl. I've never been that jealous girl that couldn't give someone a compliment, that couldn't humble myself enough or let someone know, gee, I think you're beautiful. I do it all the time. If I see a woman who has gorgeous makeup, I will stop her to let her know, girl, you're working it. You look amazing. Wow. I wish I could do my hair like you. Or I wish I could make my lashes look like yours. I wish I was as tall as you. You look amazing. It doesn't take away from my beauty to acknowledge someone else's. And I even experienced that. I even felt like I experienced that with my own sister at times. I feel like growing up, there were times where I would ask her, oh, where'd you get this? Or where'd you get that? And she would be hesitant to even tell me. She would never want to share where she would buy certain clothes from. And again, I was oblivious to that. I never truly understood the reasoning behind that because I'm just not like that. I'm just not that way. I've had some experiences at work where I've had to leave certain jobs because women were just jealous and envious for no reason, just from me being me. And it's hurtful. It gets hurtful because what did you do? What did I do? I haven't done anything but show up. Show up smiling, happy, and looking my absolute best, ready to do the job. The last job that I had, I worked at a office. I worked at an eye doctor's office. And it was clear, I had made it clear from the very beginning that I didn't know anything about insurances. I didn't know anything about, I had never been in that field before. I had never worked in optometry, I believe it's what it's called. So it was, it was a new experience for me. I was open to learning something new. But I felt like my manager, who was a woman, from the very beginning, from the days, even from my interview, she was just so jealous. I mean, my God. She was overweight. Not that I'm saying anything about women overweight. There are beautiful women in every size, but she was clearly unhappy with herself and the way she looked. Or, again, there was something about me that triggered her. But she was overweight, no makeup, and there was a coldness that I felt instantly. And, because of that, I couldn't really excel in my interview. And I usually nail interviews. I usually let my personality really shine through. But for some reason, I just could not open up to her. I just could not sell. I couldn't really answer the questions to the best of my ability because I felt her energy. Anyway, the whole interview, she just spent looking me up and down, or asking me what my zodiac sign was, if you could believe that. I never even knew that was an appropriate question to ask in an interview, but again, when you're dealing with women, there's always a level of cattiness. And she was that, but my entire experience, she made really difficult. And I know there's other women who have experienced this, because this is what jealous women do when you work with them. They'll go out of their way to make your experience working just an absolute nightmare. They'll make it hard. They'll pick on any little thing that you do. They'll micromanage you. Anything you do will be wrong. They'll find any little reason to harass you because they're just so threatened by you. And meanwhile, you're just being you. Can't get this line straight. I usually can, but wow. Hold on. Yep, we're done. We're getting there. We're rolling. Yeah, so, it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge meeting kind women. It's to a point where I'm actually a recluse. I don't go out too much. I don't go out to parties the way that I should. Mind you, I'm 31 years old. I should be hanging out. I should be living my best life. But it's just been so hard to even trust people. I don't even trust women at all. I don't trust women at all. I don't know. Granted, imagine if I did want to go out with, a group of girls. If I sit my drink down, are you going to pour something in my drink simply because you think that I'm getting more attention than you? Are you going to poison my drink or something? Are you going to put something in my food? I don't know. And I get how paranoid that sounds, but you just never know. You never know. You cannot be too trusting with anyone. I just find that it's just been, although, like I said, I've experienced funny acting men too, because lately these men have just been sassy. But it's been a better experience, with men as opposed to women, because jealous women will literally make your life a living hell. They really will. I've experienced it time and time again, and I keep experiencing it. I'm currently experiencing it at the job I work at now. Granted, the experience is not as brutal as it has been in the past. I finally found a job I'm a little more comfortable in. It's not my ideal job. But I am a little more comfortable in this role simply because I'm dealing with a lot more men than women. And I know it sounds strange, but it's so true. And, and again, like I said, I've been experiencing, men acting funny towards me on the job, not giving me eye contact, or if I have a question, acting funny towards me simply because they feel a certain way about themselves. I've experienced it. I know other people have too. I know other women have, but I'm at a point now where I love myself. I truly, truly love myself. I've come a long way. It took me a while to get here. I'm still trying to figure out my life. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for the long run, how I want to take care of myself, how I'm going to take care of myself, excuse me. But I love the kind of person I am. I love that I am not afraid to be myself, because I truly believe that is what's magnetic. I truly believe that is what's going to draw people to you. I truly believe that. You just have to really shine in your individuality, and you have to really know yourself. And I've spent a lot of time by myself to be able to learn myself, to learn what I like, what I don't like. It takes time, but you can get there. And this goes for all of my pretty girls out there. And when I mean pretty, I mean beautiful inside out, great personality, glamorous, beautiful inside out. Don't let anyone get to you. Don't let anyone get to you. Try your best to just maintain your individuality. Try your best to just shine, to keep shining, and to not let anyone stifle that. Do your best to maintain who you are and hold on to that. And I know it's hard, and it truly, truly is difficult, in a world where there's just so much cattiness. But just know that you will find your group of people. I'm still trying to tell myself that at times. I still have to remind myself that my group of girls, or my group of people, my tribe is out there. They really, really are. And I know one day I'll find a group of girls, a group of people that I can love and that I can trust. But in the meantime, I'm just striving to figure out what I want out of life. And I'm just continuing to love myself, because that's what you have to do in the end. Just love yourself, and the rest will follow through. Natural glam. So now we're just gonna keep shining and keep sparkling. And just keep doing us. Setting spray. This is my favorite setting spray, by the way. NYX. I love the smell of it. And there we have it. All right. Just keep doing you, girls or guys or whoever. Just keep shining. So you can like and subscribe down below if you want to follow me on the Bunny Rachel channel. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll leave the link down below. Follow me. Subscribe too. Mwah. Bye.